Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Closet Confession podcast. I am your hostess, Maria, and tonight we're going to be talking about my bartending stories. So, I started bartending when I was 18 or 19, I think. It was not really my dream. I was studying fashion in London, and that's what I did to support my studies and living and my expenses in London. But I think I've said it before. The first time I actually thought that that's a really cool job is when I watched Coyote Ugly, and it's such a pretty cool movie. And bartenders behind the bar look super cool. So yeah, it was in my mind, but it was not really my dream. I wanted to study fashion. I wanted to become a fashion designer. And yeah. So my first bartending job was at a nightclub, a big nightclub in London called Tiger. Unfortunately, I found out that it closed recently. Anyway, so I had maybe like a two-day training. Not enough, as you can imagine. And they just threw me behind the bar, happy hour, in one of the biggest nightclubs in London. So I think that was like a very extreme experience in terms of like bartending. It was high volume, it was a lot of cocktails. We also had like the student night, we had nightclub, DJs, dancers. So I think it was like a really heavy experience as a bartender. Because usually we will start, I don't know, at a pub or a bar or a local, even like a bowling alley. But I think that if you start with like the most difficult situation, then everything else seems so easy. But I do have a lot of stories. So I mentioned student nights. Every Monday we had to change glassware to plastic, and we were not allowed to serve any bottles. We had to pour in plastic cups because, as you can understand, we had to deal with animals. And by animals, I mean 18-year-old college students. Because in Europe, in general, the drinking age is 18. Yeah, I don't know how that works. And not only that, it was also very cheap to drink. It was about like double vodka Red Bull. I think it was £3 or £4, like $6 back then. And these guys used to get jugs of vodka Red Bull or Long Island or Sex on the Beach and get completely trashed. Plus, the clubs in London, they're open until 3 a.m. So they had a long time to get hammered. Student nights were wild, but because they were young kids, they didn't really give me attitude. Because I was a kid at the time. I was maybe like 19, maybe like a year older than them. I had nights that people would like throw up on my well. People falling down the stairs, nothing too aggressive. I would say that the first aggressive customer that I had, that it's maybe the most aggressive customer that I had in my whole like bartending career, was at Amica. It was a nightclub in one of like the really high class, like expensive areas in London. And I was flying back from Greece. It was Christmas time, and I was working the same night a Christmas function. That's what they call it in London. And this company party, they had an open tab. They had been already drinking. So I go in, and the first customer that I served, well, I didn't make it, was completely hammered. And because in London, you sign paperwork saying that you're not allowed to serve any really drunk people because you can get fined. So I told him, I'm going to give you a little bit of water, go get a little bit of air, and then come back and I'm going to serve you a drink. That's fine. So he gets my shaker, literally threw it at me and called me the C word. And it's Christmas Day. Awesome. Um, yeah, I would say that's the most aggressive customer I had because I could have gotten hurt, like physically. But I was very lucky because my manager was there, the security guards were there, so they just pick him up and like literally threw him out of the club. Um, Another fun experience. Well, that was not a customer, but it was a bartender I worked with. It was the most divey bar I've ever worked in my life in Wilmington. I'm not going to call names. But literally, when I went in for my interview, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get shot here. It's super ghetto. But even though, my clientele was gang members, literally, they treated me really nice. So I don't care what you do outside the bar, I'm gonna treat you nice if you treat me nice. So they were super polite. They always made sure they tipped me and took care of me. But yeah, one night I was closing. I think it was the first night that I was closing, and the bartender I was working with, girl, drunk, at least a bottle of Jameson by herself, hands down, and passed out, literally fell off on the floor, and I didn't know what to do. I picked her up. I didn't know like what the closing procedure was because every bar is a little bit different. I tried my best. I tried to close her tabs. I tried to close my tabs, clean up, but I wasn't really sure. And I didn't even know if I had to tell my boss because I didn't want her to get fired either. So it was a lot for a first night at a bar. What else? Well, we all bartenders get the same questions, funny orders like, give me the strongest drink you have at the bar. And funny enough, it's not what you think that it is. I was working at a bourbon cocktail bar in London called Blues Kitchen, and we had every Thursday training. And yeah, I really got into like reading about different things, and I became like a bartender snob. So we had a test what we thought is the strongest drink at the bar, and then put it from like stronger to weaker. But I already knew because I did my research. So first is wine. I know. Then it's champagne. Then it's liquor, cocktails, and then it's like seltzers, beer, and all that. And it's wine because you drink at one go a lot of alcoholic units. So, yeah, if you want to get hammered, just have a glass of wine, and that gets you there. What was I saying? I already forgot. Awesome. Blue's Kitchen, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun. We also had people coming every Thursday from like other uh, bourbon companies from flying from the US to educate us. And that's when I actually learned a lot about bourbon because before that, I had no idea the difference between whiskey and bourbon. We still don't remember it, but doesn't matter. Back then I knew it. Anyways, uh, but it was funny. We had like live music. Oh yeah, and I remember what it's what they ask. What we usually get. Customers, give me your strongest drink, wine. Now you know. Then the other one would be very, very common. It's like, can I get a Tito's and vodka? And I'm like, yeah. Just one more time, maybe you need to think about it. What else? Miami. That was an experience. Uh, yeah, you had to speak Spanish in most of the places, but I was working Cassette. It was like an Argentinian night at Exchange. Now it's called Revenge. Shout out. And I was in an open bar. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, whiskey and vodka. And was, excuse me? whiskey and vodka. And I was like, whiskey and vodka? Like, what? It's like, ah, do you speak Spanish? And I'm like, okay, a little bit like, sí, poquito. Let's do that in Spanish. So she goes, whiskey y vodka. And I go, oh my God, you're like stupid in both languages. That's amazing. So she asked for my barback. He's like, can I talk to the barback maybe? Because he spoke Spanish. My barback goes, yeah, he meant vodka cranberry. I'm like, interesting. Okay. 20 minutes later, he comes back to the bar. I'm like, okay, he's going to ask for a vodka cranberry, whiskey, and vodka. I lost it. I'm on the floor laughing my ass off. Yeah, that is one I will never forget. I just couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, they ask for crazy things like, can I have beer with a shot of tequila? I'm like, oh, you really want to die tonight? Like, oh yeah, this is like the most common one, and it's so crazy because it doesn't matter if I'm Miami, LA, freaking, I don't know about Greece, but what is it with the Red Bull Sab? Why everybody calls it Esposado? I don't get it. There's not an S in there. Like, but it's never reposado. It's always, can I have a Casamigos Respasada? And I love how you know your tequila. I love it. But it's always, it's like every single time. I think it only happened once to me that they actually said reposado, and I go, wait, can you repeat that? Because it's just like, it's like music to my ears. Not very funny. What else? Well, I had another bartender getting completely wasted. We were working together at an event, and I saw her serving tequila, and then the guy goes shot, and then the guy goes, "Can I have a Hennessy shot?" And she poured it on top of tequila, the Hennessy, and I go, "Okay, you need to get out of the bar because you are completely hammered." I didn't really know how to handle it, so I called another, like one of our colleagues, and I'm like, I don't want her to get fired because I never want that. Like, I try to cover them because I would feel terrible for anybody to lose their job. I'm usually the one that gets people a job. So I'm like, okay, just put her in the liquor room or something and let's get moving. But it was interesting because I didn't want her to look bad in front of our customers, but at the same time, she couldn't be behind the bar. I think bartending taught me how to work under pressure. Like literally nothing can get me super like anxious or stressed behind the bar. It's like such a safe zone for me. And I've come across so many different people and situations that nothing surprises me anymore. Like last week, I had this guy coming to the bar and goes, his question was, is 53-year-old too late to have a baby? And I'm like, oh, hello to you too. Hi. Great question. Great opening question. And I was like, what do I say to them? Like, he wasn't even a drunk, but you do get these guys that are like bachelors and they're like older and they're trying to flirt and they have the worst nights ever. All right, another story. Oh, by the way, I wasn't prepared for this because I was gonna have another guest that canceled last minute, literally. But that's LA. Another story. I have met a lot of guys bartending, not gonna lie, because that's all I do, work and work out. So it's either gonna be the bar or the gym. Oh well. Yeah, in London I've met a few like singers from boy bands back in the day, from Blue. Oh, I did serve somebody at Oasis. And he's an actor. I don't remember his name. I started him and I'm like, huh, you look familiar. And then someone said, oh, yeah, it's just this, whatever. Oasis. Whoa, that reminded me of another story. So it was Sunday before a holiday, which makes it a Saturday. And my manager decided to put only 2 people on schedule. So I go in and I'm like, I see another girl and I'm like, okay, the rest will probably come in later. I asked my manager, so when are the rest coming? And he goes, what do you mean? It's a Sunday. We don't need a lot of people. I'm like, it's a Sunday before a holiday. That means it's a Saturday. Oh, he's like, you're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Yeah, 500 people showed up. 500. I had the bar and the waitresses doing cocktails. Yeah. So people would have to wait maybe 45, 50 minutes to get a drink. And I didn't know who was next. I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally, when is this going to be over? I was going to go home, cover myself, because I felt so exposed. And again, I told myself, you know what? There's nothing I can do. It doesn't matter if I'm going to be fast, slow. We're not enough people to serve us. 500 people. So at some point, I'm about to serve somebody. And this woman's like, I was next. And she started yelling at me. So I go, okay. So I'm like, okay, what can I get you? It's like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to wait anymore. And I'm like, yeah, what can I get you? It's like, I'm going. I'm like, okay. 5 minutes later, I'm serving. I'm doing something, making a cocktail or something, probably a cocktail. Someone literally grabs my hair and pulls them. I look at my manager, I'm like, yeah, that's it. I put my jigger, I'm like, I'm out. He's like, no, Maria, please just stay. Don't do this. And I'm like, you're a bar manager. You are technically a promoted bartender. So why don't you jump behind the bar and help out? No. She was doing resposado shots. Yeah. That was my It was great. Amazing. But I did have fun. I say I went to, that was my favorite place. I missed it. A lot happened after. But anyways, I did have a lot of fun with the first team that I worked with, the first bartenders and managers. My GM, which didn't want to hire me because I was interviewing with my twin sister. He didn't want to hire sisters, but then he ended up, anyways, hired me later and realized that I was a better twin and a better bartender. But anyways, he was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And anyways, another crazy story. No, it didn't happen to me. It happened to my sister. I was working at Blackbird, my last job in Miami, and it was brutal. It was, I don't know if it was just, the style was very rude. The hours were insane. People were smoking inside. It was really hot. It was nonstop from 11 to 5 a.m. And so started this guy. He's like, oh, I don't have cash. I'm going to get some cash. And then when he came back, my sister gave him the change with a receipt, and he couldn't understand the receipt properly, so he started yelling at her. She started yelling at him. He threw the drink at her. Then the manager saw it, and they took my sister in the back, and I'm like, oh my God. Because some people don't know how to read receipts. And he wasn't even that drunk, but I don't know, but that was, holy shit, that was, because he kept going for a while, like the yelling and the swearing, and I'm like, oh, my God, that was a lot. I think a lot of people come to the bar and they don't know how it is from our side. So they think that we want to underpour and overcharge. It's like, I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm getting nothing. I'm getting paid the same thing. I don't put the prices. Probably not gonna make enough tips if you're mad, if you're upset with us. So yeah, I want to give some advice. If you go to the bar and you treat your bartender nice, they're gonna hook you up. That's all you need to do. Give them a compliment. Be nice. It's it's in our hands. We can do it. It's so easy. Just be nice. But the moment you give them attitude, why would I do it? Why would I fool you more? Do I know you? No, but if you're nice, maybe the next one's gonna be on me. The same. Oh, oh God. I do love my job. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, like, I don't get upset very easily, so, and I like people. So I would say the people that don't, they cannot handle pressure. And I see it a lot, mostly with female supervisors or female managers. Like, they lose it. They cannot work under pressure. That's what I've realized. And they take it out on bartenders, or they take it out on bar backs, or sometimes they take it out on the customers. But I've seen many situations that I have solutions, and I'm not even the managers. And I'm like, sweetie, we're just serving drinks. You don't need to freak out. This has happened so many times with women, and it's kind of sad. But yeah, I do enjoy working with guys, bartenders or bar managers. I think they can keep the cool longer, and they're more trustworthy. They're really hardworking. Have I seen any bartender getting drunk? Like a guy bartender? I don't think so. Yeah, I guess that's why I'm not a feminist. Oh well. I guess that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my bartending stories, and you'll learn a lot about what we go through. So next time, just being a little nicer to your bartender. That's all for me for tonight. Closing confessions after hours. I have something new coming up. Okay, I want to tell you guys right now. I want to start straight interviews and call it that straight confessions, and just go out on a beach or at a mall here in LA and ask people questions about definitely not politics, probably relationships, red flags, like spice and stuff. I think that's gonna be fun. And yeah, please subscribe, comment, and like. And I'm gonna see you at the next one. Mwah.